What is up, guys, and welcome back to yet again another Visualized History and Lore video. Today we have something absolutely incredible for you. So it is July 1st, 2020. But today, just for this video, it is July 1st, 1863. And Buford's cavalry is holding against the oncoming Confederate army under Heath's division here. What we have for you today is a recreation of the Battle of Gettysburg, day 1. There will be a day 2 and a day 3 also. Well, Colford, is just MCPHERSON's Ridge? No, it's Barlow's Knoll as well. So all of day 1's action, all of day 2 action, I will have recreated for you. Well, that's cool, Colford. We've seen scenarios before. Not like this. This is the 8th Illinois Cavalry, 353 men. That's a big unit. So what? It is the accurate 1-to-1 numbers for what they were fighting at Gettysburg. Over here, opposing them, we have the 55th Virginia under Brockenbrough's Brigade, East Division. They historically had 268 men there. Let's see the rest of Brockenbrough's division. The 22nd Virginia Battalion actually had 237 effective fighters fighting that day. So this is a absolute 1-to-1 recreation. No representation, no scaling. This is what they had, this is where they fought, and this is not exactly how they did it, but this is what it was like. Alright, so what we have for you today is a recreation of Gettysburg, and we will do all 3 parts, all 3 days covered on this channel, as well as all the actions covered on this day. So for today, we have the actions on McPherson's Ridge, which is Buford's cavalry holding, waiting for 1st Corps under Reynolds to come up, and then we have Early's division attacking 11th Corps, trying to come up the road piecemeal back over on Barlow's Knoll. And as you can see, they're starting to slowly fall back as they're being enveloped here by Heath's division. Over here on the left side of the field, Buford's cavalry has the 6th New York Cavalry, the 9th New York Cavalry, and the 17th New York Cavalry, all holding here against the oncoming Archer's Brigade, who historically was counterattacked by 1st Corps when they came up. And then a bunch of these Tennessee guys are actually captured, and then Archer himself, General Archer himself, who was a Marylander Confederate, was actually captured as well. So, and then we also have here waiting to come up Rhodes. So they're going to come up historically about the times they did. So these are not scripted battles. I did not say, hey buddy, let's play this battle. This is how I want it to go. I want it to be recreated just like how it happened. Whether, you know, you have to give up the game or whatever to make it look like that's how it happened. No. So the only restrictions we have are the restrictions they had that day. So I don't immediately have 2nd Corps, divisions under 2nd Corps coming immediately behind 1st Corps. I first have to engage with Heath's division, and then at a certain point I'm allowed to bring up 2nd Corps as they did historically onto the right flank of 1st, hitting between 1st and hitting 11th, right? Other than that, how I play, my strategies, where I put my men, why I put my men there are all up to me and my good friend Wolf, who is playing the opponent over here. And then the Barlow's Knoll scenario, as I'll switch to when it comes time for that. When 2nd Corps comes in and it comes into position, I'll be switching back and forth between this battle and that battle to show you both of them as they unfold, as it would have happened, you know, just to give you more of a perspective. This is what's happening here, and on that side of the battle, that's what's happening there. So as we see over here, it looks like the 6th North Cavalry is falling back into, well, the Iron Brigade, 19th Indiana there, and the 7th Wisconsin there under Buford. Buford's back here at the church, or sorry, the seminary, and Reynolds is just behind them. So this is a seminary that Buford was looking over to place his men, waiting for Heath to come up the road at him. It looks like a bunch of the 1st Corps artillery arriving ahead of the men. Some of the 1st Corps is coming up here. It looks like we have the 105th Pennsylvania Bucktails. Yeah, look at that, it's cool. But these guys are actually the whole Bucktail Brigade, it looks like here. Yeah. 43rd Pennsylvania. There should be another Pennsylvania unit there. They're all Bucktails. Looks like the 2nd Maine Arty, the 1st Pennsylvania Artillery, and the New York Artillery are all firing off. So just to put it in perspective for you guys, not only is the infantry brought at a 1-to-1 scale. So if you guys are thinking about it, well, Colford, didn't if it's all at 1-to-1 scale, then the 26th North Carolina that was one of the biggest regiments there, that should be pretty huge, right? Look at this freaking thing. Look at that thing. 843 men. An 843 man unit. It is absolutely nasty. It is absolutely nasty. And behind them they have the 11th North Carolina with 617 men under Pettigrew's Brigade. Now, these guys are actually the ones that broke through the Iron Brigade. So after the Iron Brigade counterattacked the Tennessee Archer Brigade, here's the 14th Tennessee, 1st Tennessee, and the Alabamans there. These are, the 1st Tennessee had 281 men. The 14th Tennessee had 222 men effective fighting that day. And this is Archer's Brigade right here, 1-to-1. This is exactly how many men. No representation. But the 11th North Carolina and the 26th North Carolina are actually the ones, after they broke through the Archer's Brigade, they counterattacked with the 11th and the 26th, and they broke the Iron Brigade. Not one time, not two times. These guys broke the Iron Brigade 3 different times, and beyond the Iron Brigade and friends, because several units of the Iron Brigade, actually of different brigades, were supporting the Iron Brigade being pushed back. So these guys actually ended up suffering like 500 some casualties on the first day, and then after all of that, they participate in Pickett's Charge, which we do have at 1-to-1 numbers. Culp's Hill, 1-to-1. Round Tops, 1-to-1. The exact amount of Alabamians and the exact amount of Maine guys who held those Round Tops or fought on those Round Tops. We'll have that for you tomorrow, guys. This is unlike anything I've ever done on my channel before. This is unlike anything you've ever seen on YouTube before. It's literally the first, guys. And guess what? Not only is it 1-to-1 on the infantry, it's 1-to-1 on the artillery pieces. So the 1st Pennsylvania Battery, actually light battery, Battery B, had actually 4 guns. The 1st New York Light Artillery, Battery E and L, actually had 6 guns. Now, not all the ordnances are always correctly placed, because for the Confederacy, they like to do mixed artillery. So it may be like 1 Napoleon, 1 10-pounder, 2 3-inches, right? But we can't do that in the Napoleon engine, unfortunately. But everybody has the exact amount of guns they should have. It looks like now, historically, Archer's Tennesseans are breaking through these cav units pretty heavily, and 1st Corps is formed behind them. Although 1st Corps seems to be holding for now, they don't seem to be pushing. Oof. And the 8th New York Cavalry getting ripped through here by elements of Pettigrew's Brigade. If you wonder why they like this, because they're in light formation, light skirmish formation. So they're not like in battle line like you see in the movies. They're in like a spread out skirmish formation. That's why they look like this. Absolutely awesome. And it looks like the last of Heath's division is coming up on the left, a little far behind, but they're coming up sure enough. Looks like we have Scales Brigade, some North Carolinians, and behind them we have Davis Brigade, which is 30th North Carolina, 2nd Mississippi, 42nd Mississippi, excuse me. Right here we have Lieutenant General A.P. Hill in charge of 3rd Corps, and then in charge of his own division, Heath is coming up. Now they're starting to engage the Iron Brigade. Let's go ahead and take a close look on this Iron Brigade, you guys. I mean, so pretty. Look at these guys. So pretty. So guys, you're wondering, Girlfriend, if it's a 1-to-1 creation, how many men do you have on the field right now? We have 41,000 men on the field. This is one of the biggest battles I've ever seen in the Napoleon Civil War. It is absolutely huge. So it looks like actually the Iron Brigade, very historically, is pushing back Archer's Brigade. Although they're not broken like they were historically, they are definitely being pushed back for sure. It looks like the cavalry held. Oh, look at those bodies! It looks like the cavalry held out just enough time for those Pennsylvania Bucktails to assume McPherson's Ridge here, and they will be holding. Alright, just before these guys go engage with the Bucktails, I'm going to go ahead and go down the line really quick and just take care of a few, just show you guys some of the infantry that's coming up. And actually, as you can see here, the rest of the 1st Corps is actually coming up from Gettysburg back here, as it did historically. You know, it's very awesome. So other than the historical restrictions, we're our own generals today. Alright, so about to assault McPherson's Ridge first. We have those who were taking care of the Buford's cavalry. We have the 22nd Virginia, who posted 237 men, the 55th Virginia that had 268, the 48th Virginia that had 209, and the 40th Virginia that had 253. The 48th North Carolina under Pettigrew's Brigade had 567. I mean, these units are huge. The 57th North Carolina had 553. The 11th had 617. The 26th North Carolina had 843. Good God. Archer's Brigade, 14th Tennessee had 220. The 1st Tennessee had 281. The 13th Alabama had 308. The 7th Tennessee had 249. The 5th Alabama had 135. The 13th South Carolina Parents Brigade had 390. The 12th South Carolina Parents Brigade had 366. The 1st South Carolina had 328. And the 1st South Carolina Rifles had 366. I think there's one more unit back here. Answer is yes. It is the 14th South Carolina. What is that? 14th South Carolina? 1. Nope, I guess that's, yep, that's right. 13th and 14th, yep. Alright, coming up behind them, we have the artillery coming up, finally up the road, getting ready to get in position. We have the Donaldsville, Louisiana Battery, the Huger, Virginia Battery. We have the Norfolk Light Blues Battery, and we have the Lewis, Virginia Battery. Over here for the rest of Heath's division, we have the 16th North Carolina Scales Brigade, 321 men. The 22nd North Carolina Scales Brigade, 321 as well. The 34th North Carolina, 311. The 38th North Carolina is 216. 55th North Carolina is 640. Jesus. The 2nd Mississippi is 492. And the 42nd Mississippi is 575. Looks like over here, I'm going to try and take care of as much as I can. We got the 105th Pennsylvania Bucktails at 400 there, 450 for the 49th Pennsylvania, 43rd had 496, and that is hurting. That's a lot of men. 12th Illinois had 353. I'm just going to go down the line here. I'm not going to continue to list all of them just because there's a lot of guys, especially for score. I've only deployed half my army so far. The 84th in New York, or the 14th Brooklyn Militia, looking very suave, very suave. 318 men. 147th New York, 380. 76th New York, excuse me, 375. The 95th New York, 241. The 56th Pennsylvania, 252. And the 7th Indiana, 434 men. 83rd New York, 199. 12th Pennsylvania, I can't keep doing this. I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly hover over each one of these. You can pause the video and see for yourself. Each one of these guys, it is just so much. It is just so much. Alright, looking back over here. So it looks like Perrin's Brigade is doing a frontal assault against the 2nd Wisconsin and the 6th Wisconsin. And it is not holding well. Those guys took a lot of damage on the come up. You can see just the bodies littering these fields. And they're going to have a hard time because these guys are actually kind of behind this picket fence, as you can see, which actually does provide bullet cover for the Wisconsin boys there. So it's going to be very hard to actually be able to lay effective fire down on the guys, if anything, while they can deliver it. As you can see, they just barely peek their heads above, while all their shots are going to go straight into the fence. So I'll be surprised if we get many on this first volley. Yeah, just a few over here. 1 or 2 there. It's, yeah, meanwhile, just ripping back into them. Oh my god, that's so many casualties. These guys are not faring well at all. Iron Brigade holding strong. They're actually taking a little more damage over here than these guys over here. First SC Rifles doing pretty well. First SC Rifles haven't engaged yet, right? No, they're in reserve. First South Carolina, though, proper is doing some good damage over here against the 2nd Wisconsin. So it looks like, yep, the Iron Brigade, historically, the Tennessee boys came up for a point-blank attack, and 19th Indiana and the 7th Wisconsin sent them reeling back. They are not faring well at all. Alright, and we're back to it. So the artillery from Heath's division has actually lined up on this ridge here. Very beautiful position, getting the good shots on. We're getting shot from McPherson's ridge. We're going to be able to return good shots. And actually, just now arriving on the field, we have 2nd Corps artillery, and not far behind them is their infantry. So 2nd Corps Rhodes is on the way up. So I'm going to quickly run over these men and let you go ahead and take a look at them. You can pause the video. If you see a unit you like and want to, you know, see how many men they had historically, here it is. I'm going to go ahead and go down the row here. Uh-oh. Got some men routing over there. Alright, so this is for a quick contest because you see it already. 11th Corps and Early's division who fight on Barlow's Knoll. And Barlow's Knoll is right there. You can see it. This is the knoll right there. Are actually on the field. But since we can't actually, the scenario maker put it on, we put it onto the field, but the map doesn't actually extend the Barlow's Knoll, and Gordon's brigade actually came from across the creek over there and hit Barlow's Knoll this way, right? So it kind of doesn't make sense for them to be fighting here. So we have a scenario dedicated just for Barlow's Knoll, and I'll be showing you that later. But just for now, we're not engaging these guys because you'll see them engaged in a separate scenario. But the maps are seamless. Like you can clearly see on this map where it is on the Barlow's Knoll map when we go to that scenario, and I'll point it out to you very clearly. And when 2nd Corps comes up into fighting position, which will be about here, I'll be switching back and forth to Barlow's to actually show you Barlow's Knoll as well. That battle going on over there. I have to wait for that fight to actually start, if you know what I mean. So it looks like the Bucktails are having no problem. I mean, they're taking casualties, but they are having no problem whatsoever sending Brockenbros reeling back. And Scales is just now coming into the fight, and even he is taking some heavy casualties. And it looks like the 55th North Carolina is going to be coming up to try and deal with the rest of Buford's cavalry that's formed to the right of McPherson's ridge. And you see the rest of 1st Corps coming up fast. I mean, that is a lot of men. I mean, this right here, that's at least 8,000 men at the minimum. Alright, we're going to try and push through McPherson's ridge here. Over here on this side of the battlefield, Tennessee got pushed back pretty hard. They have reformed, and they're holding nicely, but they did get pushed back as well with the Parents Brigade. They got pushed back reeling with heavy casualties. The first SC rifles actually, I mean, not the first SC rifles, I think they're still on the field. Yep, but the first SC proper got routed straight off the field, so we won't be seeing them again, unfortunately. But a lot of them did come back, and Heath is over here personally showing up the line. The right flank is actually pretty weak. The Iron Brigade has done a number against these guys, and do not show any signs of, relieving the pressure. Alright, a lot of artillery duels going on right now with the 1st Corps artillery on this hill. So we actually were able to rout the 1st New York Light Battery, but they have quite a bit of guns up here. There's 4 guns there, 6 guns there, 6 guns there, and 6 guns there. So a lot of artillery up on the hill. But now the 2nd Corps artillery is here, and opening up and flying back into the background here, actually landing back in here. So yeah, we are taking some damage back, but the artillery batteries we have up here, it's just quite the amazing duel. Doing some good damage, getting about 30 kills on the approach to the 55th North Carolina. This cavalry is, but let's see how 55th North Carolina responds. So we are actually almost pushing over the edge of McPherson's ridge. This is it here. Although we're well far back on the right flank, up here we are pushing through, and 1st Corps is trying to come up fast as it can to try and stop it, but Heath is pushing strong. He's not waiting for 1st Corps to get into position. Ooh. Yeah, 3rd Indiana not gonna be able to hold that. Brave men, but not gonna be able to hold that. 2nd Mississippi about to engage as well. Yep, here it comes. Oh my gosh, you see all the blood splats. It's crazy. Crazy. And then, so yes, it looks like Davis Brigade is in full combat here, breaking through the rest of this cavalry. It looks like Scales will be reforming its attack and coming in enfiladed onto the Bucktails to try and get them out. These Bucktails are so OP. OP, please nerf. Crazy. And Pettigrew's Brigade is still in reserve. The 26th North Carolina and North Carolinians are still in reserve. It looks like the right flank, or the right 2 regiments, so the 52nd North Carolina and the 47th North Carolina, are actually about to go engage against the 105th Pennsylvania. So that should be interesting to see. So far, nobody has really been able to hurt those Bucktails very bad up till now. 15th Alabama, O'Neill's Brigade, both Alabama, 26th Alabama. These guys are all coming up. And so when they get fully engaged, that's when we'll start switching back and forth to the Barlow's Knoll battle. And then all the timestamps, of course, will be down below and all that stuff. So Tennessee's still holding strong. They are hurt, but they are still holding strong and are in combat consistently with the Iron Brigade and actually doing some damage back. The South Wisconsin is starting to take a lot of damage, almost at 50% casualties. And it looks like the 17th New York Cavalry and the 19th New York Cavalry have come out to try and give contest to Perrin's Brigade. I don't think it's going to turn out too well. And somebody's routed. Who's routed? Looks like Scales Brigade. And man, these bucktails, dude. Oh no, that's actually... Oh, First Corps has come up. Finally, the 56th Pennsylvania and the 95th New York have arrived to support the bucktails just in time. Just as they're about to get outflanked. Oh, and it looks like... Oh my god. First Corps is coming up so heavy. So the 2nd Brigade of the 1st Division is up here. The 14th Brooklyn, the 147th New York, the 76th New York, and the 7th Indiana, all 1st Division, 2nd Brigade, are up now fighting with the Heath Division. They are just barely getting into position. Oh, who's going into combat? We hear a rebel yell. I think the 55th North Carolina is giving a rebel yell to try and dissuade them from coming up. Oh. Turning some volleys on the 2nd Mississippi. What are they gonna do? What's he gonna do? Yeah, there it goes. There it goes. These guys, are they about to point blank? Are they gonna point blank? Are they gonna point blank? Do it. Do it. Do it. Come on, 55th. Form up. Form up and shoot him. Form up and shoot him. Come on. Oh, no. They're going in for melee. Oh, shit. 2 fresh units. Oh, this guy's not very fresh, but holy crap. That's a lot. That's a lot. These behemoths fighting each other. 575 men charging down the hill at 430 some men. Holy crap. Look at the flag pushing through there. That is absolutely mad. They're actually in combat with the 76th New York, so they actually can't fight right now. The 76 can't shoot because of the melee, technically. And, ooh, already 40 casualties on these guys over here from the 2nd Mississippi. Getting bolted down. And it looks like the 2nd Brigade of the 2nd Division is on its way up as well. Yeah, 2nd Brigade of the 2nd Division, the 1st Brigade of the 1st Division is up here fighting. Oh, 55th, is he gonna hold? And O'Neill's is coming up as well. I don't think O'Neill realizes these cavalrymen are here. That's absolutely crazy. Holy crap. And Heath is still having trouble trying to break through in the 14th Brooklyn going in point blank onto Davis's 42nd Mississippi. Let's check this out. Beautiful uniforms. Come on, 84th. Come on, 84th. Form up. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, so much loss. That's at least 30 there in one volley. Oh my god. Ridiculous. They're starting to fall back now. And it looks like Brockenborough is reforming again, and Scales is trying to help him, but Scales, like right as they came in to give the final blow, the Bucktails, the New York guys came up to help him. Alright, and the 47th, so these guys are still pretty fresh up here. They've only lost 60 some guys, and wow, 150 there moving. So, and that's like all these guys right here. So, in this game, obviously woods are like fortresses. It's ridiculously hard to penetrate them. It's like you can at least hold off 3 times your number so long as you're in the woods. And these guys are routing, taking 200 some casualties. After taking 200 some casualties, and the 52nd is going to change enfiladed and give room for Brockenborough to come up again. That cav over there got pushed back. Yeah, taking 53 casualties here as well. But yeah, they actually did a lot of damage to these bucktails. These bucktails are well ready to break. Oh my god, and the point blanking over here is just nasty. 80 men there. Oh, approaching. Wow, over 100 men here. 147th New York is not faring well, and actually, what were they at again? 430? Holy crap! They've almost taken 200 losses in melee over here. And actually, the 55th is actually holding really strong. Holy crap. They are wrecking that unit there. O'Neill finally realized he sent the 6th Alabama. Turn around. Missing their shots. I think it's because they're very tired. They get huge debuffs for being tired. Fatigue really matters in this mod. Come on, give it back to him. What am I waiting for? There you go. There you go. Or not. You know, or not. Just shoot them. It's alright. You can shoot them. You're allowed to. There you go. Ooh, oh, ripping through him. That cab's not coming back this time. We're going ahead and take a look at the map here. So you can see how we've actually formed onto McPherson's Ridge here. This is just why they formed on here, because it's a defendable position. But as you can see, Barlow's Knoll will be just off the map over here, and Early's division will come down and swing around and break through them, and they'll all collectively retreat back into Gettysburg back here, historically. But today may be different. So it looks like they broke, yeah, the 100. Where did they go? Where did that unit go? Where did they route to? Well, I know the 147th New York routed somewhere. Just don't know where. And yeah, the 2nd Mississippi is now shooting enfiladed into the 76th New York, and the 55th North Carolina is still moving. Oh my god. So yeah, melee in real life actually did take a while. So Spotsylvania melee contests would last hours long. And it's because these men would get so close to each other. They would get within point blank range with rifles that are meant to fire, 400 some yards, and they would not stab each other with, bayonets. You saw in the movie Gettysburg at Round Tops, they would get so close to each other and shoot each other point blank and stab each other. Melee was just very shunned. And when it did happen, it's not like the movies where everybody's all mixed up, everybody nicely has a fighting partner, it's formed lines and people poking each other and trying to kill each other, but it's very, oh my gosh. 2nd Mississippi, no mercy. No mercy whatsoever. And Brockenborough still having trouble trying to break through these bucktails. Bucktails holding like some chads. And actually that 17th Indiana I think broke, so the 24th Michigan has come up to replace them. And the 24th Michigan, part of the Iron Brigade, took the most casualties at Gettysburg for the Union period. And it's because these guys were directly in the line of fire of the 26th North Carolina over there, who also I think took the biggest amount of casualties for the Confederacy. Man, it's just like impossible to break through these bucktails. I think whoever gave the bucktails their stats, I didn't do it, but whoever gave the bucktails their stats, I think they really like the bucktails. I think they hyped them up a little much, because those guys are like invincible. Alright, as you can see here, here's the orchard, and O'Neill's men are coming into contact there. And 11th Corps is coming up the road here and forming up right here against what will be Hayes LA and Knoll's Brigade here. So the artillery, Union artillery for myself would be just about here. They're kind of almost cut off, but as you can see, they're going to be coming up here quite a bit. So the artillery battles are going off over here on Barlow's Knoll, and we're going to go ahead and switch over to that. Alright guys, and here we are over on the other side of the battlefield. This is Barlow's Knoll. So as you can see, I'm going to pause it really quick. Right here is McPherson's Ridge, and back right there is a seminary, where my O'Neill's brigade is coming. My Alabamians are coming in right here on our left flank, engaging with the Yankees that are in this orchard right here. So you can clearly see how this connects to the next side of the battlefield, which is General Howard with the 11th Corps coming up to here, Barlow's Knoll, as I pointed out earlier, engaging most of Early's division. As you can see, of Hayes Brigade and Dole's Brigade forming here closest to meet up with the Alabamians. See, and this has been artillery duels going off as the infantry has been coming up the road, and still only about half of 11th Corps, or 3/4, are up the road. They are still trying to rush up while the Confederates are deploying en masse. So we're going to try and hold off for as long as we can and see what we can do. Looks like Hayes Brigade, 9th Louisiana, is the first one to take losses for the Confederates, not including artillery fire. And over here on the right flank on Barlow's Knoll itself, I have a very thin line of defense with the 41st New York, 54th New York, 68th New York, and 153rd Pennsylvania, all holding off Gordon's Brigade, which Gordon's Brigade, as anybody knows, are elite chads, so you do not want to mess with these guys. and they're going to come up 38th Alabama, 60th Alabama, and 61st Alabama, all against 153rd Pennsylvania. I actually am doing some damage against this one over here. I think he's taken some previous artillery fire. These guys are going to try and hold firm. A lot of Confederates coming up on that right flank. And as you can see, the reinforcements are coming up now. So here is the rest of 11th Corps coming up the road, but it's going to take them some time to come up. Some more artillery support about to come up as well, and the artillery we have up here now is barely holding on. I think we're trying to get some canister off. Yeah, but it's just a little bit out of range. Knoll's 44th Alabama is very lucky. Ooh, and their artillery routes it just before my canister can take effect. Hayes LA, although elite, are taking a lot of damage along this front, being put in piecemeal. The 8th LA is the first to rout. And just because they rout, this unit will probably come back 2 or 3 more times. Obviously, you know, as I explained earlier, these guys care about their lives. That's what this mod does, and simulates a little bit more accurate gameplay. So the initial attack from the Confederates is actually held off, and who does it here? We have some Ohio men, some Illinois men, some Pennsylvanians, some New York guys, 158th New York. Very good, very good. Although I can't say things are going as well on the right flank here. We got the 41st New York barely holding on. These guys are taking 20 men, and these guys are 68th New York is taking a lot of damage. As you can see back here, I've also been taking a lot of artillery fire back, and you can see these men are all from these guys up here. Alright, the 2nd Brigade is on its way up. These guys are all from the 1st Brigade of the 11th Corps, so the 25th Ohio, 75th Ohio, 107th Ohio. Looks like all comprise the 2nd Brigade, and they're on their way up. Oh, some Connecticut guys, never mind. 17th Connecticut. And it looks like some men of the 1st Brigade who were split up are actually going to be shifted to the right to go help out their comrades over there. Not all of them, though. Definitely 1st and 2nd Brigade of 11th Corps holding strong so far, but there we go. 153rd Pennsylvania has routed. Looks Brigade, looks from the Confederates, appears to be taking the far left, some North Carolinians. Yeah, 6th North Carolina, 57th North Carolina, and 21st North Carolina. I think the 6th North Carolina actually has, yeah, they have some cool uniforms here, actually. Very cool. So although they routed pretty high, these guys will come back for sure. Oh no! Who's died? Barlow himself has been killed and or wounded, as he was historically. On Barlow's Knoll. Very cool. And that's due to artillery fire that I think originally it was musketry. Alright boys, welcome back to this side of the field. And so the Iron Brigade actually pushed out here. So the Iron Brigade has been pretty hurt. They've lost a minute or 2, routed. They come back by this time though. Same thing for the Tennessee guys. But Tennessee is really hurting. Artillery Brigade is really hurting. So the 26th North Carolina and the 11th North Carolina are actually being deployed right now. And as you can see, Parent Brigade is not holding well either. Actually, Heath had left this side of the field and had come back now because the attack over there is actually going rather successfully. So now he's being rushed back to this side of the field to take care of his men over here. When they came down, they actually had almost 330 men here. So they have been doing a lot of damage back. They're heavily outnumbered by the Iron Brigade of all things. And they actually had Cav out here. Buford cavalry still active on the field. But that was the last of it there. So the 26th North Carolina is up, and as woods are fortresses, same thing for these orchards here. So even though these are 26th North Carolina and 11th North Carolina, it is going to be ridiculously hard to punch through here. As you can see, wow, yep, wow, they're gonna do some damage as well. Yeah, they're all taking a lot of damage there. The rest of Pettigrew's Brigade is forming up here on the right again, and guess what? Bucktails are still here. Holy crap! And but also, to be fair, guess what? All of Brockenbrough is still here. They've been reforming and reattacking, reforming and reattacking. But that's how it actually was. So you can see the amount of carnage. Just the line. Look at that blue line right there. That's at least 330 Union men from that 7th Indiana that died there in melee. And all these guys here as well. They really tried to hold this side of the ridge, but the Union has lost the right side of McPherson's ridge and has given me a window of opportunity to bust through these woods because it's just ridiculously hard to attack them broadside. As you can see, routing my 2 Pedigree Brigades again. It's just ridiculously hard to attack woods and orchards in this mod, as it was historically. Only about I think 30% of the Civil War or less was fought in open field. They preferred woods, they preferred valleys, any sort of cover they could find. They would not fight in the open field. They prefer the woods because it's easier to find cover and fight effectively. Just because there's just so much loss so fast in the open. As you can see here, the Union has put, although they lost the initial position they wanted, they have put a lot of men. I would say almost half of 1st Corps is sanctioned behind their right flank. So even though 11th is kind of pushed a little far forward up here with a little bit of O'Neill behind his left flank, as you saw over there in Ballow's Knoll, there was a lot of Union over here. So the 11th is not worried about getting enfiladed fire or getting cut off for sure. 14th Brooklyn still holding strong, taking a lot of casualties, and are slowly falling back to their guns, who no longer have a shot. And the 2nd Corps guns from Rhodes' division are actually limbered up and are about to move to the right side of the field to support the right flank. And Pettigrew's is right back into the action. They're coming right back. Oh my god. We've only been talking for maybe a minute and a half, and these guys are already broken. 26 North Carolina from North Carolina. They're just Chads, my god. Just Chads. Yeah, the Iron Brigade is almost completely replaced by this point. Although they did do a lot of damage onto the Tennessee boys and Perrins, they have lost essentially, just due to attrition, I think. And the Iron Brigade, what is left of it at least, is on the right flank, and he's still holding strong though, weakened. Actually, I think that's one of the last little bits that routed from here, and they're about to get routed again by the Tennessee kids. Moving up even closer to point blank. The 42nd Mississippi that actually routed a little bit earlier while you were over on the other side of the field. Just due to, you can see how many losses they took. And the rest of their brigade is over here, so they're a little detached right now. Yeah, as you can see, they just routed again. But the Bucktails are in the middle of routing. Although they've chevroned up quite a bit, they cannot sustain any longer. No matter how OP you make them, they still die like the rest. Absolutely mad. So it looks like those two units are starting to come back a little bit. Reynolds is still on the field holding strong, and actually has Wadsworth just behind him, helping support this line. Actually, 3 men helping support this line. That's what it took to hold this together. Buford over here holding the left flank, Reynolds in the center behind his Iron Brigade, and Wadsworth holding and in control of his corps, or his division, holding over here. Where is Doubleday? That's Robinson. And is that Doubleday? That's Doubleday. So when Reynolds is historically killed fighting with the Iron Brigade, giving orders to him, Doubleday is actually the one that takes over. So very good general there from the Union, Doubleday. Very Stewartly. Alright, and it's just a slugfest now. You see that I actually got the position I really wanted, and the Union now has quite the task ahead of them if they want to reclaim McPherson's Ridge. And so long as I have this in, or this window into these woods, 1st Corps is going to suffer for sure. No real progress on the orchard here. Then again, it's a good thing that the Union actually broke that initial attack over there, and is doing pretty well at holding this area. So this area all right here is being very well held by 11th Corps, but historically was just on the constant retreat back into Gettysburg. Just on the constant retreat. As the new ranks came up, they formed a new line from the routing one, and then they got routed, and then they ran, and then the line behind them that was coming up formed, and it just kept continuing that domino stage back into Gettysburg and through Gettysburg up onto Cemetery Ridge and Culp's Hill back there, and then Round Tops down that way. As you can see, the rest of 11th Corps is coming up under the command of Schrutz. Oh no, Howard himself is down. Howard is down. Leading from the front, gets killed from the front. So Schurz is coming up with the rest of the 2nd Brigade, and I think some of the 3rd Brigade here. 1st Brigade. No, maybe these are just, yeah, the 3rd Division, 2nd Brigade, and 3rd Division, 1st Brigade. So the 3rd Division is on its way up. The 1st and 2nd Division are already engaged. Very cool. Alright, looks like the reserve artillery has been routed prematurely due to a concentrated Confederate artillery fire. It's just hard because the Union coming up is coming up in such piecemeal. But we got 6. Wait, is that 6? yeah, 6 Confederate guns firing against your one, or in 20 minutes there'll be another one, but they get to route it. You know, they're constantly always have the advantage. Ooh, 6th North Carolina taking a good volley there. Who did they take that from? 25th Ohio, 2nd Division, 1st Brigade, or 2nd Division, 2nd Brigade. 1st Division, 2nd Brigade, my bad. Oh, they're giving it right back. You see the blood spattering over there. 25th Ohio and the 75th Ohio both historically took heavy losses at Gettysburg. In 6th North Carolina, these guys, will see them again tomorrow, going up Culp's Hill. And Culp's Hill would be back there. That's Culp's Hill right back in there. Alright, back over here. 3rd Division, 1st Brigade is now engaged with the 71st Pennsylvania, 61st Ohio, and they are actually really hurting this 13th Georgia here. They are about to rout. Yep, there they go. And the 31st Georgia is about to follow suit. They are hurting very bad. They've had a hard time attacking this orchard. It's kind of like the Gettysburg, Barlow's Knoll's own little hornet's nest here. Union holding strong. 75th Ohio and 25th Ohio doing good work. A bunch of Ohio Midwestern boys over here doing really good work. Some New Yorkers are going to try and fill these gaps against the 6th North Carolina. New York versus North Carolina. Who's going to win? It's 160, 139, and 152. Yeah, I mean, that evens up about the same. A little unstrength, but about the same. Steinwer is up here, and it looks like, oh, both the 25th and the 41st New York, oh, that's the 25th Ohio, have routed. Absolutely crazy. And it looks like finally the 2nd Division, 1st Brigade is up, and they are taking heavy fire from a well-formed Hooks Brigade. These 57th and 21st New Yorks, North Carolinians. Wow, yeah, they're having a tough time holding that part. Near in the center, the Confederates have reconcentrated their attack. The 17th Connecticut and 107th Ohio, this is 1st Division, 2nd Brigade over here, are holding strong for now, but they are outnumbered. 157th New York and the 45th New York from the 3rd Division, 1st Brigade are still here from the beginning of the match. Yeah, that was some good fires from the 8th LA, getting their revenge from routing earlier. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Chill out. Oh, but they did get the 7th LA. Yeah, it looks like those New York guys are starting to rout here on the right flank. That's such a good position up here on this knoll. Are getting some good volleys back there. Such a good position up on that knoll. But man, who are these guys over here? Who is this? 3rd Division, 1st Brigade kids right here. 82nd Illinois, 61st Ohio, 57th Pennsylvania, man. Just shattered the left flank of this attack. Man, Midwesterners, dude. And Pennsylvanians. Midwesterners and Pennsylvanians, man. It's absolutely mad. Yeah, it looks like those reinforcements are not faring well, and the rest of the 11th Corps is finally coming up in piecemeal, trying to fill the gaps. Yeah, and this left flank is now starting to fall apart. They're just getting hit by overwhelming numbers. Doing some damage back, though. It looks like the 3rd Division, 2nd Brigade has sent 2 units, the 75th Pennsylvania and the 26th Wisconsin, to try and shore up this line. And Barlow, the rest of Barlow's staff is, although Barlow's gone, he's trying to shore it up. And Schurz that we saw earlier is still over here. He actually came up to the front line instead of the right flank. Man, Barlow's staff is not having a good day. But Heath is taking a lot of damage on his right because he was so spread out at first, you know. But he was trying to, what he was able to do essentially was, that was the big play right there. So because of Heath being spread out and taking damage, a little more damage all across his line, for example here and here, that's because he was able to break through into the woods here. And once he was able to do that, when 2nd Corps came in, it's just a catalyst for their destruction. So, and there you go. That is 7th Wisconsin breaking again. 21st Michigan has already broken once. 24th Michigan has already broken once with the back. And actually doing some decent damage back to the 26th North Carolina and 11th North Carolina. But then again, that's because they have 4 units trained on 2. And they're in the forest, which again, I mean the orchard, which acts like a forest, does. You know, which just does a lot of damage. Heath is personally rallying back Parents Brigade constantly. As you can see, this 2nd Wisconsin taking a ridiculous amount of casualties. Ramsey's North Carolinians are finally coming up, and yeah, once mean, they're just pushed onto the downslope now. It's an inevitability. So long as this holds and this collapse, I mean, if this collapses here, these guys have to retreat, because that even means, say if 11th holds here, if the center breaks through, they both have to fall back. So, well, first it's got to find a place to hold, if anywhere. So actually, that Rhodes artillery actually did end up coming all the way on this side of the field, and as you can see, has formed a formidable battery. I do not like orchards, and I'm letting them know it. And these guys are feeling the pain. Look at that battery position just raining into them. 16 guns of battery, just ripping through the lines here. Oh, the 22nd North Carolina is going to run for that gun there, that 2nd main battery. They're being supported by the 95th New York, but the 95th New York is one of those initial 2 units that came up to help the Bucktail, so they are still very hurt from the fighting earlier. Although the 22nd North Carolina scales have actually taken some damage as well, so we'll see. Come on, can they get a volley off? Can they get a volley off? Oh no, they can't get a volley off, but they will countercharge, try and save their gun, giving time for the 56th Pennsylvania to reform. So you can see here on the left flank a little bit in the McPherson's Ridge area, they're actually moving up a little bit to try and retake some of the ridge here, because they pushed down onto the defilade of it. They definitely doing some damage here, these 2 units, this New York and Pennsylvania unit, definitely doing some damage. But wait for this 32nd North Carolina to come up. Fresh volleys, 451 men. Rhodes personally leading the division up. And this artillery slowly breaking through over here. And actually 2 reserve units, the 43rd North Carolina and 45th North Carolina from Daniels, are actually coming over this side of the field. It's just an insult to injury over here. Oh my god, the amount of artillery raining down in this orchard. You can just see the Union lines of bodies from where Heath has been trying to break through all, for the past couple of hours. Almost all day now. Yo. This poor, oh, the Bucktails too. It's the Bucktails. Oh, you poor bastards. Look, they've already suffered over 50% casualties, which is devastating for a unit. And now they're still fighting, and they're about to see what happens. Volley killed nobody. It's this picket fence. How OP. I feel bad. Oh my gosh, I feel very bad. No, no. Poor Bucktails. They've been holding all day. Staggering casualties. They're approaching 70% casualties now. It's absolutely devastating for a unit to reach that. Yeah, they routed. That definitely looks like, so some of the reserves that were actually on the left side over here, and as you can see, oop, there we go. So on this left side of the orchard, on the other side of this orchard, as you can see, the Union has actually formed up because 11th is still holding over here. As you guys know, you've been seeing, 11th is still holding right there. This is where that initial attack was broke. As you can see the artillery that was right there and right there. And then the artillery line that was on the other side of the hill firing over here. And the fighting that was happening in this orchard here, in these woods here. And you can clearly see from the other replay you all are watching simultaneously with this where the fight is happening. And as you can see, 11th is nowhere close to being cut off. So, but if this does fall here, they have to fall back. So, or if that falls back over there, it's just a wrap for these guys over here. So it's kind of a 2-part battle that they both hinge on each other. So if he lost that battle over here, he has to fall back here, sort of thing. So very interesting to see. I've never done anything like it before, but it's so awesome to recreate Gettysburg like this. Tennessee finally broke through, but not before they gave it back to the 19th Indiana, and yeah, the rest of the Iron Brigade just suffering horrendous casualties. Horrendous. 98 men out of 302. Why? Why did you hold that long? Oh my gosh, just devastating. Yeah, 6th Ohio is finally going to refuse its flank and try and shoot these guys out. 6th North Carolina still has a significant amount of men compared to them. It looks like the 74th Pennsylvania will actually be shifting to help that unit there. And that 28th Illinois will try and dislodge the 61st Georgia. It looks like the 154th New York and the 73rd Pennsylvania have actually rallied And I think they will be coming back in here soon. Yep, there they go. They're coming back in. And the 57th North Carolina has taken some damage, and they are not liking it. They've lost their standards. Although this 21st North Carolina holding strong. Yeah, there it goes. 57th is routed, and with that, I don't think this attack can be sustained over here. So it looks like across the board, 11th Corps has shored up Barlow's Knoll. They have shored it up. Absolutely incredible. Although Georgia has reformed, the Ordnance Brigade Georgians have reformed across the river and coming back across. Seeing if they can break back through over here. 6th North Carolina is not holding very strong. Steinward's over here on the front line. Although his predecessors have been killed on the front line, he's going to stay over here. Oh, the 61st Ohio has routed, and it looks like the 74th Pennsylvania is going in for a charge against the 38th Georgia. Let's see what they can do. Absolutely bloody. Absolutely bloody. Ooh, and the 75th Ohio is not staying in the orchard. They're coming out to meet them in the field. Why wouldn't they stay in the orchard? Oh, what chads. 31st Georgia holding strong though, even though I think they're technically now in melee, right? Yeah. They're technically flanked on their, because they got into melee, so that caused them the rout. Unfortunate. 13th Georgia, although going to take their place and try and push back that 75th Ohio back into their orchard. What chads? They said, we got an orchard? Nah, homie. Nah. Oh, those two units came back, and the 21st Ohio has been absolutely flanked. Taking ridiculously heavy losses. Yeah, and those guys are going to get out of there. Although not before causing the 58th to rout again. Or it looks like Doles and LA have reformed, and they're doing some damage back. The 107th Ohio's out of there. 26th Wisconsin holding strong, and the 82nd Ohio 3rd Division 2nd Brigade is presented with a mighty task here. They're outnumbered 2-1 and on the attack. Although the 17th Connecticut has proven its worth. It's held on after ridiculously high losses and is actually still winning. So very impressive. Oh no, these guys. Oh no. I don't think it's going to turn out well. Oh no, Georgians release a huge volume of these guys. Nasty. Yeah, there they go. Oh yes, sweet. Sweet victory. Heath, with the help of 2 Rhodes units, has finally pushed through into the orchard. It's been a long time coming. You just see the amount of men though. Even with it being an orchard and you being able to hold up 3 times the men, look at the amount of dead right there. That's just ridiculous. And this is all Tennessee. Look at that. You could walk across this line without ever touching the ground. Devastating. Yeah, the Union took just as many casualties holding this orchard here. Although it's not done yet. And, oh, the seminary! No! It's on fire! It's been broken apart. No, it's damaged. I don't think it was actually historically hurt. I don't think it ever took any damage historically. So, interesting to see. Yeah, now First Corps is just on a full retreat at this point. Their right's falling apart, their center is getting shattered. And that's pretty much historically how it happened, you know. They did well trying to hold against Heath, and then just Rhodes comes in on their right, and the whole Confederate army comes in on their right flank and just destroys the Union forces that are here. Day 1. It's just horrendous. The losses they take on day 1. Ugh. Yeah, now look at the position they just gave up. I mean, they had no choice but to give it up, but just look at that position now. The fortress. And it's all because Heath was able to get up right here and get that entrance to the forest there. If all these Union men were able to hold this whole line as well, it would have been a whole different story here today. And it looks like Pettigrew's 52nd North Carolina is actually punching through quite a bit. He's not letting them reform. Looks like they broke the, oh man, they broke the 26th North Carolina, who's almost incurred 50% casualties, which are like 10 to 18 casualties off from 50% casualties. That's crazy. Although not 80% casualties like they took historically, but 50% is still a lot, guys. And these guys are almost down to 50% as well. But you can see they gave it back to it in here for sure. Running for the charge. Against the 6th Wisconsin. Oh, and as historically, the 11th North Carolina Pettigrew's Brigade broke the Iron Brigade. Funny how that works out, huh? Poor guys. So the left flank of the Union is completely gone. They are in full retreat now. So what's ever happening over here needs to happen quick compared to what's happening over here. So Schurz is leading a charge of the 26th Wisconsin into these guys. What are you doing, Schurz? He realizes that if they lose over here, they're outflanked, and they can't allow it. The First Corps is being beaten back pretty heavily. They're giving ground slowly, but they're being beaten back pretty heavily. So he's trying to pull some risky maneuvers here to try and push back the Confederates, but doesn't seem to be working, and the Union is falling apart now. Although the right flank seems pretty even up. Looks like all of these guys, is the 73rd Pennsylvania, the 105th New York, and the 61st Ohio are all willing to try and charge in on this one, 13th Georgia. See if they can hold. Oh, 61st Ohio is out of there. They've taken enough damage for today. New York taking a lot of damage on the come up. And the 73rd Pennsylvania still has a lot of men. Holy crap. Oh, who'd they route there? The 105th New York routed. Oh, and the 73rd finally got it through. And the 57th and 74th have both routed. And now it's just up to these men to try and push across the river here and take out those artillery pieces. So it looks like so far it's looking pretty good for the Union right now, although the artillery is going to be very hard. I'm not going to cuss. It's going to be very hard to remove. But the Confederates are now essentially up in this position, so they've almost cut off the route back to Gettysburg back here. Right back in here, and that's where 11th Corps is historically routed through Gettysburg. The attack falls back all the way to and through Gettysburg until it finally ends with them completely removing themselves. Oh my god! The canister! The 73rd Pennsylvania is going to try and take out the Stoughton, Virginia, and the Courtney, Virginia artillery, but man, that canister is no joke. Oh my gosh. Heard the audio say, "Look to your colors, men." There are no colors, sir. Look to your division. I have no division. And that's it. 73rd Pennsylvania is out of there. They can't handle that artillery fire. Oof. You see those pellets flying over the head there? Oh shit. Oh, you can see like the shock waves. Oh my god. Brutal. 82nd Illinois and 27th Pennsylvania trying to take these guns. Looks like the 6th North Carolina is about to rally in those woods there. So this is what I'm talking about. They can keep rallying all day so long as they have this artillery protecting them. Oh no. Napoleon's glitching out. They're flying everywhere. The Louisiana Guard may not be able to hold against this infantry if they can't target their canister correctly. They've done it. We're going to go ahead and speed this up here now.
Your general has fallen.
Yep, there goes another general. So, I mean, just bloody fighting over here. So 11th Corps historically held a lot worse than what they did here. 11th Corps held very well here. In fact, have almost practically won it. But with all this artillery and a very big unit over there, 269 against these guys, no way. Yeah, all the artillery is just trained on these guys now. I assume they'll be routing here soon. I think 11th Corps is completely broken now. Oh, and are fleeing back to Gettysburg. Yep, that is it. The Major General Oliver O. Howard brought 6,800 men to the fight piecemeal, while Rhodes deployed in 5,500 men straight up. No piecemeal. So it looks like Rhodes killed 2,700 to 1,900 on Howard's return. 39% casualties, so 41% casualties for Howard and almost 40% casualties for Rhodes. So that was a very even fight out through and through. And the 26th Wisconsin coming out on top with 221 kills, with the 82nd Illinois falling not far behind. 74th Pennsylvania there. Looks like 3rd Division. Wow, 3rd Division just racking up, because they came in on that last wave and really pushed through and broke the initial, you know, the last assault of the Confederates there, and then the artillery were just too much. All right, let's go ahead and go back over to McPherson's Ridge and finish that one up. What is up, guys? Welcome back. All right, so as you saw, Barlow's Knoll has fallen. Oh my God! Barlow's Knoll has fallen, and so has McPherson's Ridge. We are beyond McPherson's Ridge now. The Union was completely pushed off from the seminary as well. And as you can see, though, the Union did do its job and held up its right flank very, very well. This is the last, this is the place where that Dole's unit broke the 26th Wisconsin there and was coming over. On the other side of the river, of course, we have those gun batteries there that shattered that last unit there. I think it was a Pennsylvania unit. And as you can see here, but 11th Corps was never cut off from the retreat to Gettysburg, and that's where they're retreating now. They're all on their way back to Gettysburg. There, a couple thousand men on the retreat, and 1st Corps has done its job and held it up, but they are, again, it's just buying time at this point, because look at that, that's 12, no, it's 16, excuse me, 24 guns firing down onto the Union down here. I mean, it's just devastating. Although Buford is alive and Reynolds is still alive for the time being, at least. Trying to hold down here. So it's funny, actually, it ended up happening pretty much how it historically happened today, July 1st, in real life. Herblies came down and broke 11th in piecemeal, but 11th held. The only thing that didn't happen historically accurately, obviously, is the exact placements. You know, the exact casualties. You know, some units took more casualties than in real life, or less casualties. Obviously, because this is not scripted. This is still a multiplayer game that anything can happen. Union could win first day. Union can win second day. Confederacy can win second day. Confederacy win third day. It doesn't matter. The only thing we script is the historical restrictions, which isn't even scripting. It's just battle, you know, restrictions, which happen all the time. So, I mean, it's funny how it actually historically ended up happening the way it did. And the only thing, again, that maybe 11th. I mean, the Wisconsin was supposed to break through the, you know, here and then get broken back through here, right? The Iron Brigade. Reynolds was supposed to die up here. Some of that stuff didn't happen, but B1st Cavalry held longer than usual and counterattacked at several places. And 1st Corps held for a long time, giving time for 11th to fall back as it did historically. And yeah, it's just a matter of time now. Yep, and I think that's it. I think the Union's now pulling off. Yep, the whole line is pulling off now, so they are officially now on the retreat to Gettysburg and Cemetery Hill and Culp's Hill, Cemetery Ridge and Culp's Hill. So this is the last of 1st Corps falling back in actually better order than what they did in real life. I think a portion of 1st Corps retreated in good order, but a lot of it was just even 11th was just a mere rout, because 11th, as it has now, fallen apart, and now 1st Corps' right flank is compromised. They have to retreat. They have no choice. Not that they're going to win this flank anyways, but they are in full retreat now. So, yeah, let's go ahead and we're going to skip on to the final scoreboard and check out the casualties for McPherson's Ridge. You saw the casualties for Barlow's Knoll. And then we'll wrap up the video. Alright, guys, and here we are. So, General Heath deployed 21,000 men, while Reynolds deployed 18,000 men. Heath lost 4,900, while Reynolds lost 7,600. Holy crap. Enemies killed 7,300 for Heath, 4,700 for Reynolds. Looking at Heath's men, taking a look at the top kill, it looked like it was the 55th North Carolina that went into melee with the 7th Indiana back there, and the 2nd Mississippi that was his co-partner next to it. Next was the 52nd North Carolina Pedigree Brigade. First, I see Rifles did very well against the Iron Brigade. I told you the Iron Brigade was taking heavy losses over there. They was just holding forever because they had like 3 generals in the area. Pedigree Brigade, 11th North Carolina, of course. 26th North Carolina, actually not far up there. Where is it? Wow. 26th North Carolina, I don't even see it. I mean, we know it did work. There it is. 26th North. Where'd it go? 26th North Carolina, 13th Alabama, 178 kills. So not nearly as good as the 11th did with 315 kills. Yeah, great playing on Wolf's part. Thank you for helping out. On Orr's part for helping with the Barlow's Knoll scenario. Completely incredible. Tomorrow, day 2. Although it's July 2nd, 2020, tomorrow for you guys, it will be July 2nd, 1863, as we fight the 1-to-1 scenarios for Round Tops and Culp's Hill. All the men that were there, 1-to-1 scale, no representation. I mean, this is the most accurate, most amazing Uber simulation of the Civil War Gettysburg that you can possibly do. And it's all possible because of the American Civil War Hardcore Submod. The link to that will be in the description. The link to the Discord, where you can play battles like this with us, will be in the description, as well as my YouTube Discord subscription. I mean, my Discord down there, where you can come hang out with me when I'm planning all this stuff and doing this stuff, and maybe help me do some of it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video around, guys. Not enough people know this exists. Share it around, and I will catch you all later. See you day 2.